to another episode of Always Open. This is where I talk during the song and it fades out ever so nicely. Serendipitous. I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and I got some beautiful friends with me today, starting with...
Hi, I'm Ellie Main.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rosas.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Blaine Gibson.
Whoa! Oh my God.
Mariel, it was Blaine.
Twist.
You look so like Mariel.
My hair's all fucked up.
I kind of was hoping you'd wear that for the whole show. Commit.
Don't
Commit to
disappoint.
the bit.
Committing to the bit.
10 hours later.
You know what? It's okay.
Yeah. What would Mariel look like blonde? Now I'm kind of wondering.
Well, let me show you.
She's here.
It's me,
Your friendly neighborhood blonde.
Mariel.
You did ask if you could be Mariel today.
Yeah, I did.
Be whoever you want.
I wanted to be Mariel. I've always wanted to
Believe
be
in
Mariel.
yourself. You can be whoever you want to be.
Ever since college, ever since I met her, I wanted to be Mariel.
Well, thanks for being here today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And fuck you, Mariel, for not being here.
Yeah.
You busy bitch. She's out of town,
She's at.
but that's okay. You guys are here, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna do a shot. This is a watermelon kamikaze that Texas made us,
Yikes.
which I'm very excited and also scared of.
See you on the other side.
Mariel. Touch your
It's in the
glass.
afternoon.
Dangerous.
Wow.
Dangerous stuff.
One of my highlights of the weekend was teaching Clem how to do cheers.
Oh,
She was just holding it like this at Ashley's baby shower.
Her bottle of vodka.
Yeah. Real alcohol.
Holding a little glass, and Becca was like, cheers, and then she was so confused while everyone was coming up to her and clinking her glass, and then she was like, okay.
wants to do it to everyone
And she was
now?
like cheersing
Yeah.
everyone. It was so cute.
I love that when a kid learns a new thing and then does it constantly
All the
for
time.
like 3 months straight.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I love it when kids learn how to fist bump, because like they never know to like, they either don't know how to punch,
Right.
or they do it way too much.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're 4 and you just hurt my.
Ooh,
One of
your
the
sharp
worst-
little child bones.
I got one of my worst injuries in recent memory when I was like, I'm Uncle Bubba, you know, with my niece and nephew.
Is that what they call you?
Uncle Bubba, and then my nephew is Little Bubba.
All right, you're gonna have to take that off.
Okay, thank you. And
I feel weird not being able to see you in the eyes when I talk to you.
it makes me untrustworthy. So like we're running around, and I'm carrying him all over the place, and when we're in the pool, I'm like throwing him and stuff like that. Well, there's at one point where I was chasing one while the other one was in my arms, and pretending that he was the one chasing her. And we were on tile floor. I had my socks on, and I slipped with him in my arms.
No.
And I'm like, 190 pounds. I don't want to fucking pancake this kid. So like, what very few dad instincts I have kicked in, and I managed to like grab him, support him in his face, and then like catch all the impact on my knees and my shoulders, and just like, boom. He was fucking. It was like he went on a roller coaster. He was like,
Again. Ice packs on you.
dude. I was like, My mom was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "You're great."
Yeah, but the kid is.
Yeah.
Oh, put some sawdust down. The Uncle Bubba ride is closed.
You guys remember, this was, I think, I want to say Extra Life, not this past year, but the year before, when Iris was a newborn. And Michael had shown up, but he started dancing with Iris and like swinging her around. And there was like beanbag chairs that he was like jumping over.
I'm just
and
picturing projectile child vomit.
every single dad on set was like, oh God, oh, okay.
All powers activated.
Yeah, 'cause he was like literally like jumping and falling and like swinging her all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
That could have been painful.
At my sister's wedding, where everyone's coming out of the church, beautiful service, and they're lining up for like to throw confetti as my sister and her new husband come out. And my cousin's little baby, so like, my second cousin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like maybe 18 months, and she starts like tottering up this line of people like, everyone's looking at me, this is so great. And my aunt, full of English dread, is like, no, she's gonna ruin the photos. So she starts running towards, scoops up Eva, and runs back in line, but then Eva's older brother just decides to step in front of my aunt, who then goes arse over tit. And like, Eva falls to the ground like a sack of potatoes, starts screaming. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, is Auntie Bridget okay? And my dad goes up to her after and says, are you okay? Are you okay? And she just goes, I'm so sorry. And Dad's like, no, it's okay. Like, you didn't ruin anything. We just want to make sure you were okay. But it was just so British. Like,
so
I
British.
ruined it. I'm so sorry.
Children.
Isn't it true that 9 out of 10 Brits die of embarrassment?
Yeah,
That's what
we cease to be. We just fade like a dementor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is that why like that British people have a reputation for being so like Gavin, like just rude and blunt?
I think that's just Gavin. I mean, if most British people I know, it's very similar to what people say about Canadians, which is everything's like, I'm so sorry, oh my gosh, it's all my fault, oh no.
I definitely apologize way too much. I've realized.
Like if someone bumps into you, you say sorry.
yeah. Or this is embarrassing. I've said sorry to inanimate objects before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a table.
All right.
I'm an idiot and Canadian.
I'll do that. Yeah, drunk. I'll just like run to a bar stool. I'm sorry, man.
I'm dreadfully sorry. All right, well, we're going to start off with a game called Hypotheticals. I think, you've played this with us before.
Oh, yeah.
This is a game by Chuck Kloisterman. It's hypothetical questions that have a twist to them.
Okay.
So they're not like your typical ones.
I'm excited.
This is the first one. You work in an office performing a job that you find satisfying and which compensates you adequately. The company that employs you is suddenly purchased by an eccentric millionaire who plans to immediately raise each person's salary by 5% and extend an extra week of vacation to all full-time employees. However, this new owner intends to enforce a somewhat radical dress code. Every day, men will have to wear tuxedos, tails, and top hats. During the summer months, male employees will be allowed to wear gray three-piece suits on casual Fridays. Women must exclusively work in formal wear, preferably ball gowns or prom dresses. Each employee will be given an annual $1,500 stipend to purchase necessary garments, but the money can only be spent on work-related clothing. The new regime starts in 3 months. Do you seek employment elsewhere?
Yes.
Yes. Cut to the wide. That answers the question right there.
Look at those drumsticks.
This is my work clothes.
Right.
I always wear the shortest of shorts. No way I'm wearing a three-piece suit in Texas.
But you get a raise, you get an extra week of vacation.
I'm good.
You're satisfied?
Here's the thing, even if you're in, like, even the money doesn't
Even if
matter
you're in
if you're
business?
uncomfortable every fucking day.
Yeah.
I guess
Like,
I wouldn't mind wearing a dress every day, but when I think of guys having to wear the whole like tuxedo, tails, hats, like that's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable after a while.
I mean, like,
The
right?
shoes are not great either.
oh, the patent leather shoes?
Fucking suck.
Eat a bullet. That sounds terrible to me.
Cool. Have you ever worn high heels?
Yeah. How about them? Oh, would that be a part of it?
Yeah, I've been in drag before. I know that pain.
Okay.
You have
Interesting.
I'm extending this pain to all involved. The high heels, the patent leather shoes.
It's all the whole thing. See, I'm immediately off the bat, I'm like, fuck yes, but I think I'd have to end up spending that raise on like a storage unit to store the dresses.
Right.
Because I could not fit probably more than one ball gown in my closet as is.
With 7 satin petticoats.
But I also do like the idea of like flicking on the light to a storage unit and there's all these like ball gowns with the like things that you put them on like with the mannequins and stuff.
It's like the scene in The Matrix when all the guns come in, but it's just all ball gowns.
Yeah. Just your
And then,
just all
like,
the crinoline.
which one will I wear
Cool.
today?
I wonder how fast.
Wearing out a quinceanera store.
Yep.
I'll take them all.
I wonder how fast it would be before I just transitioned to just like full cartoon hobo. Like my tails tuxedo, like the top of my tin can just became a tin can.
The colors like, popped out.
Fingerless gloves.
Start talking with like a Cockney accent.
Yeah. All right. I'm like
right.
always warming. Why is Andrew warming his hands by that barrel fire out back?
Selling things inside of your jacket.
Yeah, inside of my jacket, smoking a cigar nub on a toothpick.
Like
All cartoon things, basically.
Yeah.
I like wearing suits, but like I wear them once, like what 5 days out of the year, maybe.
that, right?
Like for weddings and formal events and stuff like that. And like those are fun times where it's like, oh, I look dapper.
Because everyone's
every day.
dressed up and it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
But how good do you feel at the end of that day when you take those clothes off?
Fucking just like.
Amazing.
It's the same
Just like-
feeling that we feel every day when we take our bras off.
The bra.
Oh yeah.
Restricted
like-
clothing.
I should try that.
Yeah, take your bra off sometimes.
Thank you.
It'll feel real good.
I was also picturing this scenario with our current job here at Rooster Teeth, having to do the same things we
man.
always do, but in formal wear.
The thing we did today, we would
just
not have been
thinking
able
that.
to do that in formal.
It might be out by the time this comes out, because we're pre-recording this pretty early.
Yeah.
Just imagine an art cart with a ball gown spilling out of each side. Of it.
Getting caught in the wheels. It's like
Yeah.
gumming up the works.
That was
With your monocle, just ooh.
I say.
Well, like I was wearing a chef's outfit over this, where it was just like a really thin, like cotton thing, and then like pants. And when I took it off, my shirt, this shirt was drenched in sweat.
You had the booby Y.
Yep, I get that a lot.
I get that every day.
Wait, W.
W.
Upsetting.
It's okay.
More of these.
Let's move on to our next.
What
So I
is
think
it?
we're all in agreement that no. I think that's a little.
Like, I want to say yes. I want to say yes, but
I feel like I would try it out, maybe for like
See how
a
it
month or
goes.
two,
Okay.
and
for
then
the gram.
yeah,
That's
do it for the gram.
not a bad idea because then you get the money for the suits and then you leave.
It's the evening before your wedding. Everything is going as planned. You are spending the afternoon with a few close friends, chatting casually about old times. Suddenly, your spouse-to-be bursts into the room, totally hysterical. Your spouse-to-be insists that he or she just has seen a vampire. When you ask what this means, he or she says, I was looking out of the window of my hotel room, and I could see into the apartment building across the street. That's when I saw the vampire. I saw a man in a black cape bite a woman's neck and drink her blood. I know this must sound crazy, but I'm that certain that is what I saw is real. Your prospective and sober spouse is in a state of panic and pleads with you to believe his or her story. You could tell that this is really, really important to him or her. Knowing the fragility of the situation and the intensity of the timing, do you tell your potential spouse that you do, in fact, completely believe that he or she saw a vampire across the street? All of your old friends are watching this conversation.
If I am this far along enough in a relationship where I'm going to get married to this person, they have won my total trust. I'm all for it. Vampires are real in that moment for me.
You're gonna be like,
100%.
yes, let's investigate, but I believe you. You're not lying to me. But let's go check out.
I have no intention of getting married, so in this hypothetical, if I've gotten to the point where I'm about to go into wedlock, vampires are real.
Noted.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I fully trust you and believe that that's what you saw. You saw, now whether that's real vampires, some sort of like
Sex party.
kinky sex party thing, like
Sure.
whatever it is, I believe that's what you saw.
Someone's big screen TV that was just pushed against the window.
Somebody rearranging their living room and you were that was a movie that was playing.
Twilight, you know.
Yeah, I fully believe you. Let's investigate in the day. And, you know,
With garlic.
They won't come out then, though.
Wooden stakes.
You gotta investigate at night.
I think also did call the
They'll be-
police.
Right. Just be like,
Hey.
you just saw a murder, so let's call that in right away, and see what they have to say. But I 100% believe you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand?
I would believe them.
If they're in a state of like, I know this is insane, but I saw it, then I think, yeah, you'd have to believe it until proven otherwise,
I
right?
feel like you have to do that in a relationship already, where you're just like, sure, sweetie, that's great. I'm so happy that you did that, or I'm so happy that you saw that. That's crazy.
If they're in like hysterics, I feel like, and they acknowledge like what I'm about to tell you is going to sound bananas, then they've clearly got some self-awareness of the fact that like outside of themselves, because they're concerned about your interpretation
Exactly.
of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of precludes like, oh, you are psychotic or hallucinating, because they're automatically like thinking about the other party.
Yeah.
Or
Or
do you do the ultimate step of unity, and you say, you found us. I am a vampire. It is all real.
Give me your blood, bitch. All right.
You're totally on their side.
So yes, we'd be good boyfriends and or girlfriends. Or
Fiancés.
fiancés.
all sides.
Oh,
That's in my vows.
let's have a vampire wedding. I'm super into it.
So I'm very excited about this one. This is what it's called.
Oh, yes.
Stereotypical
I'm
Jesus.
so here for this.
Crack.
You die from natural causes.
Oh.
You ascend towards a warm white light. You immediately realize you have entered the afterlife. And, much to your surprise, it is exactly like the cliched kindergarten version of Christian heaven. The ground is covered by a white, cloud-like fog. Angels fly around you and play the harp. You are wearing a comfortable white robe. Everyone there is aimlessly walking around, smiling broadly, perfectly content. This, it seems, is how you will spend eternity. Upon your arrival, you are greeted by Jesus, and he looks exactly like the stereotypical depiction of Jesus.
Ewan McGregor.
Welcome to heaven, he says. I think you will like it here, and I look forward to loving you unconditionally for the duration of your time. But I also realize that heaven isn't necessarily for everyone, so I always give newcomers a chance to go to the other place, if that's what they would prefer. Are you referring to hell, you say in response? Oh no, says Jesus, not hell. Certainly not hell. I would never send you to hell. But you could go somewhere else that isn't here. It's another viable post-life option. About 18% of our potential residents go in that direction. What is the other place like, you ask? I can't tell you, says Jesus, but if you do elect to go there, you can never come back here. And you only have 20 minutes to decide. Why only 20, you ask? Because I'm Jesus, says Jesus. What do you do?
Can I ask him more questions?
Nope.
Or is that's it?
That's it.
Yeah, I'm hanging with Jesus. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious for who I am, but yeah, I'm like, cool, no, I'm here. I'm
You're
set.
good. Yeah,
I'm
you
good.
made it.
I mean, also, shifty Jesus. It's a weird thing for me to have
Yeah,
to think.
the like, first you must answer me these questions 3, Jesus. It's a little sketchy in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm sticking in
Yeah.
In heaven?
In the good
yeah,
place.
in that Mario Kart level that
Rainbow Road?
yeah, exactly. It's just clouds and everyone's I don't know.
I feel I would probably stay there as well because you know what this is, you see what it is, you feel like you could handle this. But what if the other place is some
Just as
weird
cool.
form of torture? Or way better.
What if it's like
Well-
Vegas, but
I don't know.
good?
If everyone's
not
having, I mean, it's too risky. If everyone's having a real good time chilling up in stereotypical kindergarten heaven, then, I don't know if it's worth the risk.
I think like no matter they're going to the other place, I think like scratches that part of our brain that's like, what if I had done something different? It's like you can trade it all in for what's in this box. The box. Like you want to know like
Deal or no deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to know what's that other path like, Again, they said it wasn't hell.
Could be purgatory. I don't know.
Or it could be something that's like your perfect version of the world.
18% go there.
18%?
Could be better.
You can go to an Earth where Hogwarts is real.
Ooh, or Pokemon.
Ooh, or both! Where all of your
But you
nerd
can't come.
fantasies come to life.
I feel like it'd be like reincarnation or something. Oh, who knows? Who knows what's up there? I feel like I'd try to trick Jesus into telling me.
It's not gonna work.
I'm gonna trick the Almighty.
Father, the author of time, I'll have you.
I think it's got to be somewhat okay, right? Because you made it into heaven and he wouldn't
Right.
send you to hell, he says. So it's like,
He's like, no.
it's got to be an okay place.
Chilling out with Jesus, being loved unconditionally. Yeah,
On your cloud of white fog-like cloud.
sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
With
I wouldn't
angels.
be able to sleep though, because it's so bright all the time.
I'm pretty sure you don't need to sleep when you're
Everything's
dead.
cool,
But I
man.
love sleep.
Sleep is
That's what the other place
sleep
is.
is the best part of my day. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet the beds in heaven are great.
What if it's nighttime mode? Just like it's heaven, but like the text is white and everything else is dark.
It's black. You just like slide the little slide bar.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's the
Night
other
mode.
place.
I don't know. I guess I probably wouldn't risk
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Stay.
I think I'd probably stay.
Stay.
Yeah.
I'd probably say stay, but I don't know. You know what? I'm switching it. I'm saying go to the other place. I'm saying go to the other place only because the
Forever.
like stereotypical like white clouds, like you're perfectly content, but like that the storybook, or I'm sorry, like the Bible school version of heaven and Jesus, like always, even as a kid, sounded so boring to me. I'm like, if that's what it is, that sucks, man. Like that's like so
You would just crack one day. You're just like, stop smiling at me.
in middle school, this church that we were like affiliated with did this like heaven and hell room at the church, and the heaven room was like soft music was playing, and they brought in a bunch of couches, and they had like tea, and everything was like nice. And then they had the hell room, which was like strobe lights and heavy metal music, and it was really hot in there.
And you're like, I like this room.
And that room was awesome. Like it completely backfired.
man.
Totally.
All the kids are in there just like,
Yeah.
The pastor's like, ooh, I have made a huge mistake.
I guess we gotta be bad.
Even I prefer that room.
Oh,
You
dear.
do.
I think we messed up, right, Terry? Terry, he's like in there. Yeah.
Have you guys, this might be like going too deep. Have you guys ever read books about people who have like claim to have near-death experiences and have like experienced heaven and come back?
Yeah, I've also read studies that have, like, they had studies to disprove those stories. Like, they did things like to prove that out-of-body experiences weren't real, they put weird shit all over the ground, like big red letter A, a green 3, you know, like all this stuff. And they interview the person. They'd be like, "What did you see in the room?" And then they just named general hospital things. Oh, like white tile floor and stuff like that. Not knowing there's like a picture of like fucking Kenny Loggins ripping on the guitar.
That is heaven.
That's what I want to think about.
Yeah.
All right, before we move on, I would like to say thank you to Candid Co. This episode of Always Open is brought to you by Candid Co. Did you know your teeth move as you get older? And if you want to get your teeth fixed, the last thing you want to do is wear braces. That's why we're happy to tell you about Candid, the clear alternative to braces. Candid has an experienced orthodontist who is licensed in your state create a treatment plan for you. And Candid only uses experienced orthodontists. They even create a 3D preview of what their final results are like. Once you approve your 3D preview, Candid creates custom clear aligners that will be sent directly to you. That means no hassle of having to go into an orthodontist's office, and Candid costs 65% less than braces. Holla. You can save thousands of dollars and have straighter, brighter teeth in an average of just 6 months. As someone who had braces for about 2.5 years, this is amazing. You're one step away from getting straighter, brighter teeth. Learn more about candidco.com/open and use the code OPEN to get $75 off. That's candidco.com/open, code OPEN for $75 off. Don't wait. You can have a great, confident smile using Candid Co. and use the code OPEN to get $75 off. Thank you, Candid. All right, we'll do one more. So you'd go.
I think I'd go.
I'd spend 20 minutes grilling Jesus and seeing if he'd let me know. Or like asking around.
He's just sitting there like, oh, Blaine.
Yeah.
I knew you'd do
He
it.
just keeps petting your head.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Imagine your dream house, whatever that house may be. Think of all the details you would like in this home to possess, including furniture. You are suddenly given the opportunity to trade wherever you live now for this hypothetical home, and your mortgage will be whatever you currently pay. The home will be in roughly the same location as your current residence. However, there is one odd caveat. This dream home is buried 2 miles underground. When you look out of the windows, all you see is dirt. In order to enter the residence, you will have to take an elevator that travels down the 2-mile shaft at high speed. It's about a 5-minute trip. The elevator is comfortable, and there is staff located above ground that provide 24/7 maintenance on the elevator. If something breaks or goes wrong with the elevator, you will be rescued immediately. Would you accept this underground dream house?
100%. That only got cooler as you went along.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
My dream bunker underground? Yeah, I'd have the best parties. You wouldn't annoy anyone.
Oh, that's
There'd be
true.
no noise complaints.
There wouldn't. Holy shit.
The ground is rumbling from 2 miles down.
And
an earthquake.
think about like all the shit that goes wrong up
Yeah.
there. You are in like the most secure nuclear bombs.
You're a NORAD. You're like
Yep.
protected from everything.
You just
Yes.
scream and show those walls.
My dream house is basically the house from Ex Machina.
Oh, okay.
Oscar Isaac's place.
Oh, yeah.
This looks great.
You get like daylight bulbs. You Truman show the walls outside. You make a whole little environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I got a weight room.
If you have your dream home, your dream home could include like screens on the windows that look like the outside. Because originally when I read this,
Total
I was
Recall.
like, I would go crazy living underground, like with no sunlight and no like visible connection to the outdoors.
Is there Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Dream
Dream
home?
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I would assume so. I assume the trappings are the same. It's a dream home. It's just the function of being
Underground.
2 miles underground. I love mid-century window walls. I think too much to do this because I like just like one wall that's like completely outside natural light.
Flat screen on the other side, and it can be wherever you want.
It's true. Also, something I think would drive me insane that I just thought about is the fact that like the white noise of living in a city, I've completely like tuned. My brain has like tuned to that.
Alexa, play the sounds.
She does play some white noise sounds.
Yeah,
Play
but
Fire Off Cars.
dogs barking
Yeah.
in the distance. I feel like I would have to pipe that in because like
Yeah.
think about being like
Oh yeah, it'd
underground.
Be like,
It would be essentially soundproof.
it'd be like a sensory chamber.
Yeah, a sensory deprivation tank.
It's only
Sounds
getting better.
awesome.
Man, I'm like
I'd have
selling
a
it to you.
huge fucking weight room. and I'm super secure from inevitable nuclear war.
The elevator only plays Girl from Ipanema.
Oh, actually, my elevator plays the Underground Mario mission.
For 5 whole minutes.
Yeah,
Anyone that
like,
comes along, you're like, you have to wear this Goomba suit. I'm sorry. Put it on.
Should we do one more?
Gambo.
yes.
Do one more. You are offered a strange job by a New York-based company. Every morning at 6 a.m., a car service will come to your home and drive you to JFK Airport, which is a 40-minute drive from your residence. You will then take an 8 a.m. business class flight to Los Angeles, arriving at roughly 11:30 a.m. You will be picked up at the airport and driven to a Burbank office, where you will hand deliver 3 innocuous but unfaxable documents to the corporation's president. You will then be driven straight back to LAX, where you will immediately catch a return flight to New York. Another car will pick you up at the New York airport at 9 p.m. and return you to your home in New York City. This is what you will do every day, 5 days a week. Wake up in New York, fly 5.5 hours to Los Angeles, and then immediately fly 5.5 hours back. You have to wear dress clothes, but your lunches can be expensed, and you would have no other responsibilities while flying. The pay would be a 10% increase from what you currently earn.
Carry on.
But they would need a 3-year commitment.
No. I thought you were going to be like, the pay will be $2 million.
Would you take this job?
No!
Oh
Fuck no!
And even if you had said $2 million a year, I would probably say no. That is hellish. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
I hate that.
So lonely. It's a very lonely job.
You're up in the air, like the film,
you can do
Yeah.
like the George Clooney
shit
film.
ton of writing.
Oh.
Perfect Storm.
You could
mean-
do a lot of writing.
You could do a whole other job while you're doing that job, but I need social jobs. Like, that would be so lonely for me, and also that, I mean, you travel enough to know that, like, that airport life, she be tough.
Also, like, I feel like you would get
10%.
severe health problems.
Yo, you get you'd get crazy health problems, like cabin fevery. I feel like you'd be like, I do this every day.
Just remember
Don't
germs.
they? Wasn't there like some study done like on flight attendants who change altitude and like time zones more than like
yeah.
a
Yeah.
certain time? Like
I think there was like something that like they did some research and like a lot of them have developed a certain type of cancer.
A family member of mine used to be a pilot, and he has like serious radiation poisoning
Woof.
Yep.
from just like being up in that zone.
Yeah.
Air zone. You know.
If
You
this
guys get
was
it.
like a cargo jet of my own design, and I could like pick everything that was inside of it, and it was radiation proof or some shit, and I got $1 million or a couple $1 million, then maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's like I'm going on a fucking American Airlines flight to
coach.
yeah.
No, you get
10%.
business class every trip.
I
Oh, it's business class.
I
Still
want
no.
someone to clip that laugh and just play it for like a 10-hour loop.
Yeah. Can we just have that in the show go for like 2 minutes?
There's
So no,
no.
you guys would
No,
No.
10%? No.
Barbara, you doing this?
No.
Yeah.
I
Is it
don't
after
have time
that,
for any free. Other than the weekends, you wouldn't have any free time.
5.
after your drastic airport experience recently? Can you
Yeah.
Imagine if like one of those goes wrong.
Well, that's the problem. Like every airline has delays or some type of issue that you'd, I'm sure, be dealing with at some point.
God, even if they could guarantee that there would be no delays and that it would be 5.5 hours, 5.5 hours there, 5.5 hours back.
That's 11 hours.
That's 11 hours of your day. That is like you leave, like morning,
Yeah,
night,
you have
like
time
you're
for life.
You're done.
You think of the like
Make
the
such
health,
good friends with like airport staff people.
I know.
Yeah.
What's up, George? On the
You-
flight again.
The health implications, though, like my ass atrophies during those kinds of flights, where I'm just sitting there and just like I get up and I'm like walking for the first time.
Yep.
Not
Like a baby foal,
Yeah.
just born.
You wouldn't want to do anything on the weekends except sleep.
Yeah.
yeah,
It would just suck.
That'd be crazy town.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't take it.
it's like hell.
I heard this amazing story about a little girl on a flight recently from a friend of mine. It was one of those like really teeny planes where there's only 2 seats on one side and 1 on the other.
yeah,
Okay.
And there's a family of 4 right at the front, and my friend's in the 1 seat across from them. And this little girl, as the plane moves away from the gate, she's like, oh, here we go. She's maybe like 8 years old. And so the flight attendants are like, is she okay? Or is she's scared? And her family were like, no, she's like super into it. And they're like, oh, okay. So they start like getting like ready to taxi and take off and stuff. She's like, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, and then it's like going down the road and she's like, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're flying.
Oh my
In your face, God!
The parents who have been like trying to get her to be quiet are just like, okay, well, this is happening.
That's
And
the
she's-
cutest thing
it's
ever.
so cute. She's like, we're flying. We're flying.
I'll have what she's having.
Why would anybody want to stop that from
And
happening?
then her mom, like 10 minutes into the flight, is like, look, you can see our house. And she goes, Mom, you can see everything.
Oh.
And she's just like looking out of the window, like. My friend Kelly was just like, it was just the best. Just
That-
being like, ooh, here we go. Ooh, here we go. We're about to take off. It was like
Big
the
money.
surprise lady from SNL, like,
Yeah.
oh, surprise. Surprise party. It was so cute.
Be that carefree.
To be that pure, to like take such like
Flying.
unfiltered joy out of something that we just described as hellish.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I think anybody would after 11 hours
True.
a day.
A
every day, 5 days a week.
light.
But a little kid about to go on vacation, like, we're flying.
We're going to Disney World.
that is such a like kid like just like a pure kid thing to be more excited by the flight
Yeah.
than wherever you're going on vacation. It's like I was really excited to take the plane, and then we were at Disneyland, I guess, and then we got back on the plane.
Like a kid who gets something in a box and they like the box more than the toy.
And they think that everyone around them experiences the same like excitement that they are. Just like, we're doing it, guys. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Like her brother, who was younger than her, was just like, okay.
So embarrassed. All right, I would also like to mention that this episode of Always Open is brought to you by Postmates. When you need red wine at 4 p.m., sushi at 9 p.m., a breakfast taco at 8 a.m., and ibuprofen at 10 a.m., Postmate it. I've needed all those things, and I can guarantee you those are the exact times I also needed those from Postmates. Postmates is your personal food delivery, grocery delivery, whatever kind of delivery service all year round. Anything you're craving, Postmates can deliver. They're the largest on-demand network in the U.S. and offer delivery from all the restaurants, grocery, and convenience stores you could possibly want or need. No more trips to the store. You don't even have to know where the store is. Postmates will deliver anything to you. Download the app for iOS or Android for free, browse local restaurants and businesses, and track your delivery in real time. I like that I could get whatever I need, whenever I need it, without second-guessing any of it. I never hesitate to place an order with Postmates because it's easy, fast, and just what I want. I cannot guarantee Postmates enough in terms of their service and just getting exactly what you need when you need it. It's so convenient. For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners, that's you, $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use the code ALWAYS. That's code ALWAYS for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Download the Postmates app and save with the code ALWAYS. Thank you, Postmates.
So cute.
All right, well, let's move on to our next segment of the show, which is a voicemail that we have from a wonderful caller. So let's give that a listen and then see how we can help.
Hi, my name's Rob. I'm 34, and I've been single for about a year. And before that was in a 5-year relationship that was pretty serious. So coming out of that into, like the age of Tinder and Bumble, all that was very strange to me since that wasn't as popular before I was in that relationship. And I've just had kind of a hard time, figuring out how to tread that ground and not really a whole lot of success. But I also have some social anxiety and, most of my friends are either married or engaged or have kids. So I don't really meet a lot of new people. I was just wondering if you guys had any advice of places or things to do that kind of get out of that grind of just being on a dating app and spending hours swiping on people and actually getting to meet fresh faces, whether it be a dating or friendship type scenario.
I don't remember leaving that voicemail.
You're not 34, though. 29.
But I will be in Rob's shoes, and I am in Rob's shoes right now, so I get that. I get what he's going through.
You'll be able to offer some good advice. How do you do it?
Well, I mean, like he said, I'm on most of the apps. No, I'm actually only on Hinge. Bumble and Tinder have kind of gone to shit, and those are very like hookup-centric apps.
Hinge is like, what's different about it? Like there's a lot more things you could do. Like you could send people profiles and
It's
you could.
more of a social network.
Okay.
Like you have like.
But still specifically, like the idea is we're doing the dating thing.
Yeah, you have 6 pictures of yourself. You can connect your Instagram if you want to. I don't, because I got weird shit on my Instagram. And then you have
that video you
like
posted.
3 questions that you can answer. And typically, the more effort and jokes you put into those, the better the results. Because that's how I loop people in. Is like.
You get more of an indication of someone's personality.
Totally.
beyond Just like, I'm trying to impress you.
And it's not like I see this person, I say yes or no. It's like I see this person. If I don't like them, then no. If I see this person, I like them. I can comment either on a picture or a thing, and I'll say, oh hey, like, well, one of my connections was like, oh, this is in Kyoto. I was just there in March. What did you think? Where else did you go? And then they're like, oh, I fucking loved it. And then we had this whole conversation about Japan going through.
That's cool.
It's nice.
Very nice.
But that's how I've met the majority of my people, and yeah, it's kind of a numbers game. You just kind of have to keep at it, and it sucks.
Well, this is someone who's in a 5-year relationship, 5-year-long relationship. So I guess 29 to 34. Oh no, wait, 28 to 33, and then he's been single for a year. So now he's 34.
I feel like that's such a difficult window to navigate.
Absolutely.
Mid-30s.
Because end of 20s, beginning of 30s, because it is that window where people are getting engaged and having babies all the time, and like you're always at weddings and baby showers, and if that's not happening for you, then it can be such a downer. Like, and I just came home from my sister's wedding and met so many people at that wedding who were trying to meet people at the wedding to date. Like, it becomes this whole like kind of cycle of anxiety. Go to weddings.
Go to all the weddings you can, and just ask the bride and groom who your single friends are.
But yeah, I think that.
Do you take this man? Hold on a second. Who out there is seeing somebody? Just interrupt the wedding to ask.
Or you're just like on the dating app at the wedding, like you.
Yeah.
Go across the room.
I know this is your day, but excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a relationship for 5 years, so also, I mean, weirdly, kind of like the same time like frame. I'm 34, so I'm feeling you, anonymous voicemail leaver.
Rob.
Rob. Oh, it wasn't anonymous. It was Rob. Yeah, sorry. So I can understand. I understand the prospect of that being very scary, and also like by your late 20s, early 30s, like if you're in like a job that you're comfortable with, you're like kind of around the same people all the time, and your friends are hopefully, if you're lucky, like very, a solidified group. So it can be difficult to meet people. And I feel like it's like cliche advice, so like
Go to a club.
Not even a club, just like get involved and interested in other stuff. Like we're gonna volunteer. Go to a local food bank. Volunteer your time and your energy and your effort in things outside of yourself. And not only will I think that bring you like a bigger fulfillment, honestly, but is also a way to engage with other people who are selfless in that same way. I don't know.
Or might be looking to do the same thing you are.
Honestly,
Put myself out there to find potential partners.
people like
people to meet.
give yourself and your time to something like outside of yourself, and I think that's a good way to meet people. And
a friend of mine is in her early 30s, and she's like annoyingly good at doing that with such like casual confidence that like it's like I've met up with her recently, and she was like, yeah, I joined this like French Boule Society, and I was like, what? She was like, I just found it on Meetup. Like, that like Boule, that game that's like this French game that a lot of people play in like rural France. That's like you throw colored balls and like you have to get them towards this little white ball. And the proximity is what counts. Yeah, there's like an Austin society for that.
For some reason, my head just went to French bulldogs.
Oh no, boule.
And I was like, I want to be in
it's
that
like,
club.
is that like bocce?
Yes.
Bocce
Yeah, I played that in Australia, and I hit, I think, like Alana's cousin. He was great. I almost broke his fucking nose.
Oh no.
Yeah, good times.
But she's always doing like crazy stuff like that. Just finding these meetup groups, and she's like,
Niche groups.
yeah, really niche groups. And and her whole thing is like, if I meet someone, great. If I don't, I have this great experience and probably a really good story.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
But you do have to have like psych yourself up for that kind of thing.
Well, he said he has like social anxiety, and I fucking
Yeah.
get that. And then like also like the cold calling at clubs and like in just other places too is like a really difficult time. That's something I can't put myself through.
I feel like people are getting away from that more and more.
Well,
especially the older you get.
You also run into kind of exactly what you're gonna expect by going to a bar. You're meeting people that are just like out like party animals, and it doesn't sound like Rob's in that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think like going to a climbing gym, Andrew going to a climbing gym, tons of friends at the climbing gym. You meet awesome people out there, and as long as social interaction is like amicable, and you're not like, you know, tearing some girl's headphones out of her ears and stuff like that.
Hey, hey!
Pay attention to me. Yeah. It's like you can meet a lot of good people out there.
Absolutely, and like, you know, something like exercising at a gym or like
Learning a new skill.
volunteering on a farm. What's different about that is that like you're there ostensibly for that thing, like to complete a task, to work on this thing, to paint a house, to build a fence, whatever it is. And like that is like what has brought you together. It's not, hey, we came together to meet people,
Right,
like, 'cause, like
right.
that's what's expected at a club, and that I think is the source of a lot of that social anxiety, where it's like, well, we kind of all know what this is about.
Right.
I
There's
don't
that
know how to
added
start
pressure right off the bat.
right off the bat, and it's just like, oh no, you go, you know, to climbing gym, you go like work on a farm or
There's
volunteer.
already common ground to talk about as well.
Exactly.
We're here to climb, we're here to volunteer, we're here to play a game or whatever we're doing at this society, this club, this meeting, a group of people who are interested in this one thing. We already have this jumping off point. It's like a lot of people who meet at RTX.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like we have this common ground already that's set, we have that foundation. It makes things so much easier, especially if you have a social anxiety problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the conversation dies, it's not working, like, you know, it stalls out or whatever. Oh, right.
You're chopping leaves.
I'm cutting leaves.
I'm hawking.
Climbing a wall.
I'm climbing a wall. I'm cutting
Masking
carrots.
cool.
Like,
Back to it, yeah.
it's not a big deal because you're right back in the thing you're there to do in the first place.
Also, the biggest piece of bullshit advice that I get that's actually like totally correct and not bullshit at all is like, you're gonna get whatever that thing is that you want
What a 180.
when you're not expecting it or not looking for it. There's something about like other human beings that they can sense when you're like on the hunt for like a mate.
Dude, Christian life, you know immediately. If you meet a wife or a husband hunter, it is like off the bat immediate because it's like
catch that vibe.
someone who's new, just after service, like you're grabbing a coffee or a tuck or whatever, and someone's like, hey, so what are you about? What do you do? And you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately like people get kind of told to do that. Like if you haven't found your person, just like church hop and try and meet people. And it's like there's the
Church hop.
no, it's honestly it is a thing. Wife, husband hunting, church hopping. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
And like I very recently went to a service where they were like, you should do that. And then everyone my age was like, don't do that.
No.
Don't do it.
But it's
Within
like
that context, it's something very strange. But
Yeah.
when you're at like if you're going to a society for the idea of like I'm going to be doing this thing, putting good out into the world, or learning something new for myself, edifying myself, and it happens to happen, that's great.
Go
It's
in
natural.
there with an open heart and an open mind.
But yeah, it's that.
Shoot people down. No.
It's like one of those things that as soon as you're comfortable with yourself, and that's when you're comfortable enough to start seeing other people. So if you just kind of pump the brakes, Rob, and just kind of let it happen at its own natural pace and don't push it.
We've also said this on a lot of episodes. I mean, I think social anxiety in general, is more common than you think it is. And I think like a lot of people tend to internalize that and think like, oh, they're gonna know I'm anxious about this, or I'm so anxious, and no one will be able to relate to that. But you have no idea how many people do. And I think everyone has a bit of anxiety when it comes to dating, because
It'd be weird if you didn't.
maybe not everyone.
No, like I'm just remembering I was at the gym. I told Chris about this, and he thought it was fucking hilarious. But like I met a girl at the gym, and I just wanted to go talk to her, and her headphones were off, and she seemed like open to the, and like we were making eye contact. And then I went up, and the first thing I said was, "Hey, sorry to bog you." And then I was just like, "Where am I going with this conversation?" Like, and like we were both just like, yeah. It was
We are in this moment now.
social anxiety. It's a real thing.
As a woman, I will say that it's very endearing and kind of cute when a guy is nervous and fumbles around a little bit. Like, it's endearing.
When he bogs you.
It shows that like, he's interested in you and he finds you attractive maybe, and like is flustered by
Yeah.
you, and that's, I think, very.
I think you'd choose that any time over. Hey,
You
I
got
have everything going on. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Which is when someone approaches you with like, I deserve this. Like when it's that.
I'm a
it's like,
1950s villain and I'm going in.
yeah, exactly.
That's when everything coming out of my vagina turns to dust.
Yeah. We all have just like the difference between arrogance and confidence. Like confidence is like the ability to like actually approach somebody and be like, hey, and like start a conversation. And even if you're kind of fumbly, like the confidence to do that is the
Because
thing.
you're showing vulnerability as well.
Exactly. You're also like putting yourself in a position like, that anxiety is like tough to get through, but that is, I think, the confidence of just being able to approach somebody in general,
Someone
in
who's
life.
just genuine but nervous to approach you I would so be into that rather than someone who's just like,
Because you know off the bat that that
Sup.
person is courageous.
exactly. And that like they're legitimately interested in you or in talking to you at least. So, but yeah, I think it's also an added level of stress being that age because that is when people are just like, gotta find someone who I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with because that's what society has shaped us into at this point in time for marriage and babies in your like late 20s, early 30s kind of era. So dating could be extra challenging. But yeah, I think you guys all give great advice. Just like put yourself out there in different ways. I'd say like maybe avoid the club because I don't think that's necessarily what you're looking for.
The club.
And also, like, I'm sure you have friends or coworkers who, now that they know you're single, maybe have acquaintances or friends or siblings or whoever that you could be set up with.
Yeah.
You should inquire about that.
Yeah, I feel people like for a long time were sort of shied away or scared of the setup. And I feel like it's kind of coming back a little bit.
Yeah.
My friend, the same friend actually, my friend Kelly, just went on a few setups when it was very much like, hey, this like looks like it doesn't work on paper, but I think it would totally work in real life. And you don't know those specific experiences, like you don't know until you go and have dinner with that person.
No.
Where it's like, hey, you are a photographer who travels the world, and this is a finance guy from New York, but I think it would work. Like, if you have a common friend that can do that for you, like,
Or like double date.
well, double date.
Go out all
exactly.
together to go to a movie, or well, maybe not a movie because then you can't talk to each other. Go for coffee or a
Stare
meal.
deeply into each other's eyes. Yeah, no, I think that I totally get. I mean, we've had lots of conversations sharing an office about like not like taking the pressure off as well. Of like once you kind of relax in yourself, like don't beat yourself up for having this issue at the same time. Otherwise, you find yourself anxious and then also being mean to yourself.
Yeah.
Of like, why isn't this happening for me? And just like go with the flow, even like go through the ups and downs and be vulnerable and be real through those. I
Yep.
think is also like super important.
I would offer too as like a final thing.
As a father.
As a father. Rob, sit down. I just as kind of a final thing is, you know, as Blaine was saying, like that advice, like it comes to you when you least expect it. Sure, but if you are, if your social anxiety is keeping you in the routine of like, I go to work, I come home, I go to bed.
I'm maybe on a dating app, but I'm too nervous to pull the trigger on a
To
date
pull the
or
trigger or
something.
whatever, like change your routine a little bit. Like put yourself like
At least once a week.
at least once a week. Like put yourself in like a social situation that is outside of your routine.
Yeah.
Because like if
Totally.
you've got like
If you never go to happy hour, go one time. Check it
one
out.
time.
Yeah.
just like little steps like that, I think also alleviate over time that social anxiety. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a really good piece of advice, actually.
Also
Well-
read Brené Brown and everything she has to say in life.
Yeah, do some extra reading.
She is my angel.
But yeah, good luck to you, Rob. Hopefully it works out for you. But again, don't be discouraged. I'm sure you're a great guy. And also, have some you time after a 5-year relationship as well.
Also true.
Have some fun.
I feel you, Rob.
That's also true.
Just
Know what you're going through.
No.
Also want to mention that this episode of Always Open is brought to you by Third Love. I have talked about this on tons of episodes before, but I love Third Love. It's the only bras I wear now. They're so comfortable and so easy to order. You get to customize what type of shape breast you have, which makes the bra fit even better. There's tons of different colors to choose from. I personally like more skin-colored ones so it doesn't show under my light shirts like this one. And they fit amazingly, and I have tons of different options for every different type of size you are. Third Love designs its bras with breast size and shape in mind, as I mentioned, so you get a perfect fit and premium feel. They offer more than 70 sizes, including their signature half-cup sizes. Third Love is super convenient. Find your fit in 60 seconds online, order and try it on at home. No more awkward fitting rooms. Third Love has an awesome fit finder quiz. You answer just a simple couple of questions to find the perfect fit. It takes less than a minute. And Third Love helps you identify your breast size and shape and find styles that fit your body. Every customer has 60 days to wear it, wash it, and put it to the test. And this is my favorite part. If you don't love it, you could return it, and Third Love will wash it and donate it to a woman in need. So it's basically a win-win situation. They are hands down the most comfortable bra you'll own. Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they are offering our viewers 15% off their first order. So you just go to thirdlove.com/always to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/always. Rooster.com/always for 15% off. Thank you, Third Love. I love you. All right. So we're
DM Blaine also apparently.
We're gonna move on to another question submitted by a user. This one is from Bailey F, and Bailey wants to know: are you high maintenance?
Yes. Incredibly.
In some ways, for sure.
I have a question for you guys. What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
High maintenance, I feel, is such a broad term that people interpret in so many different ways.
I have dietary needs. I was kind of a nightmare on a trip to Japan because I had to go to the gym in fucking Tokyo, Japan, like that kind of shit. I'm high maintenance, I'll admit it.
So for you, it means there's a lot of things you need to do to stay you.
Yeah.
You have a routine that you like to do.
Yeah, and then also that can be have an impact on my mood sometimes, where it's just I'll get bummed out if I miss out on this thing, or if I feel like I'm eating really bad. Admittedly, I'm kind of high maintenance. I feel like I'm pretty go with the flow, socially speaking, but if it comes to this stuff where it's oh, I missed this thing that sucks.
I think high maintenance when we speak about it in general terms, it means a very specific thing for women.
Yes.
I love the patriarchy. It's a fact. I'm sorry, everyone. But for women, it's always either appearance-wise, I'm a high maintenance, I would have to have my nails and my hair and everything perfect, blah 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 blah. And if you upset me in that way, then it's gonna be a problem. Or it's emotional, right?
Yeah.
I'm just so much to deal with, and I have these hysterical, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to almost tiptoe around them, walk on eggshells to keep them happy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say that I'm high maintenance in an emotional way for a different reason, is that I want to talk about and through everything. And at the point where it is it's happening right now. Of just I'm hopefully Miles will forgive me for saying this, but he said that when we were talking and kind of getting into a relationship, he was I know that being in a relationship with Ellie will be hard work because we will both be forced to grow a lot, because I am very introspective and I want to be very honest and get to the root of everything always, all the time. To the point where sometimes he's been I do want to have this conversation, but can we just have fun tonight? And I'm yeah.
No downers.
Not that it's a down, but it's just a lot. And being on the surface, being, having your heart on your sleeve all the time is very emotionally tiring, exhausting. And though it is super important in relationships to be honest and to be open about everything that you can be, there is a point where it's maybe not the right time to do that, or you can't just be no, I need to talk this through now, all the time.
It's 4 a.m.
Right.
I have to be up
exactly.
in 3 hours. I have a presentation. Please God.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I'd call that high maintenance though.
But to some people it would be.
I guess it depends on what those people call.
I mean,
I think for other people outside of that, and the reason I'm like that is having been through relationship, a marriage, and the end of that was not based on vulnerability and honesty and having those conversations. That's why it's become such a priority to me. And at the same time that there's always balance. There's definitely, that is so important, and if more than important, it's foundational. But it is so tiring that you need to bake in time for fun as well.
What I would offer to that is, I think I wouldn't even consider that necessarily high maintenance. What I would perhaps explore is when Miles says, "Can we just have fun tonight?" If that just creates a whole avalanche of shit.
No. Well,
then I would not consider that high maintenance.
good.
Because when
that's a check. That's a check to me that I'm you're so right. I've just been focused on this thing, and you're right. Let's just watch a movie right now.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think that's a really healthy thing to just be hey,
to be willing to compromise on both sides.
On both sides.
Yeah.
I would say that the high maintenance side, the high maintenance emotional side of that, or high maintenance emotionally, translates to when
Blow up.
my emotional state is almost completely dependent on our relation.
Yeah.
How we interact is anything could be. It's a minefield.
Right.
There's a lot of walking on eggshells.
You have to think about what you're going to say before you say it every time you speak to this
I'm
person.
gonna change my answer. I think we have two different definitions of.
Well,
I think they're both.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That we interpret it.
I think they're both correct in what you determine. I mean,
I'm high maintenance like a fine show breed dog is. Like, you gotta take it for walks. You gotta feed it.
all right.
It's the right things, and you gotta exercise it. But emotionally, you can just talk shit to it, and I'll be like. So yeah, I think emotionally I'm low maintenance, but like physically speaking.
I don't know. Like I feel like,
I mean-
don't take this the wrong way. I feel like you're a sensitive person, but like not in a way where like if you say something you're gonna be hurt, but more
Yeah.
like you, like most people, will read into things a little more than people intend you to.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know a lot of people like this, myself included. So
Sure.
I don't take it as an insult.
No, I'm not. I feel like that.
We were just talking about that before the show. Both, not you.
What?
We're like, God, Blaine. Man, you can't say anything to him.
Sweat instantly.
Did you see his W boob sweat?
Oh my
today?
God, it was a Y, but
All right, change my answer again. I am high maintenance, like just universally.
I will say also there are times where Miles wants to talk about things and I'm like, let's play Bioshock until our eyes bleed. So like, we're both the same in that way.
Again, compromise.
It's
Yes.
good foils for each other.
Yeah, for me personally, I would say that I'm probably low maintenance to a fault. That it like comes like full circle. That like it
Like you're almost too easygoing when it comes to certain things.
is too easy going to the point where like I consider myself a very like thoughtful person and do thoughtful things, and like if you want to talk about love languages, like you know
Fluent.
acts.
Fluent.
It's like
Time.
you know giving gifts, words of affirmation, like all those things. But like you know I have admittedly like I have just a garbage memory for like real basic stuff, and so it's just like I totally didn't remember we had that conversation. Goo, and you know very like you know acquiescent and you know apologetic, but just the way my brain works, like I don't store kind of basic, you know, domestic a lot of domestic information.
Sure.
So in that way, I'm very forgetful on that side of things, but also very easygoing. But I think almost perhaps maybe to a fault.
To a fault where people need you to be less like that.
Because to the point where people think like, you know, sometimes my girlfriend and I have talked about this. Is like, do you even care? Do you even care about this? It's like the truth is yes, I do care, but I like do not make a large.
Like you're so laid back that it's just like you just let things happen.
I do not make a large show of whatever it is that's like going on. It takes quite a bit to get me like
Riled up.
riled up. And then before it reaches just that point, I go shut down. I just like
I think you're right in that like high maintenance is like if you kind of break the actual term apart, it's like it is more like reactionary.
very reactionary.
Yeah.
Of like how do you respond to things, and then is the way that you respond to things something that basically puts the burden on the other person of like you have to now deal with me and how I'm going to respond to this.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like a better way of defining it rather than like this is how I behave, of more just like this is how I react. Because like I've met and been in relationships with people who cannot see the bridge between something happens and this is what I do about it, and they cannot see that there is a choice that gets made. And they're like, well, yeah, I did that because you did this, and it's like, yeah, but you chose. Like there was a choice. Oh yeah, I did that because I was upset. And it's like, yeah, but you chose to behave in this certain way. That is a choice that you make. And that the world of that choice is the high maintenance part of like, do you choose to take responsibility for how you behave? Do you choose to like be self-aware in that way, or do you choose to put that on other people?
Absolutely, you said that way better than I did. Like that, just the way you respond to like people's emotions. Absolutely, that's it. The best way.
And a lot of people will negate that there is even that gap, or that there is a choice that they've made.
Yeah.
What about you, Barb?
I don't think I am, but
Trevor?
Peacekeeper.
I know. I feel like I need to ask like
You're a 9. You're a peacekeeper.
some. Yeah. Apparently, we did this test that we talked about
The
recently.
Enneagram.
Enneagram,
So that's
which
it.
it's like a personality test.
Okay. Is it
And-
the 4-letter word one?
I'm a 3.
I was a 9.
7.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Seven is
54. Those are my football
what is
number.
7 again?
7 is the adventurer.
Adventurer.
You're all about new experiences, adventuring, and often like, oh my gosh, it totally makes sense. Like material things because you love your brands. Like you came in with your Juice Line cup and your Hank's hat.
And your LA.
You get fiercely, because thought I was a 7 for a while because I share some traits. So you get fiercely loyal to things, especially in terms of like things that make you comfortable. So like your Hanks and your Juice Line, like you love it.
He does like.
It makes you feel good. It makes you comfortable. That totally makes
I
sense.
should take this test. How long does it take?
20 minutes.
Or less.
Too long.
Yeah.
And then I'm like totally driven by achievement. And
Yeah, a 3 is achiever, I think.
the
it's called.
achiever, yeah. So you're like, you very much have goals and how you're going to achieve them, and often to the detriment of your personal relationships because you're like hyper focused on those. And you understand other people through, like, in your head, it sounds very negative and it can be, but in your head, like whether they deserve the things that have they earned the things?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, have they earned the right to do
I feel
that?
like we could
or
do a
have they-
whole show
We should.
on this test. We should.
You get Christina on it because Christina's like fluent in it. It's a really, really interesting.
Yeah, we should revisit it this season at some point because I feel like there's a lot you could go into with it.
There is. Obviously, it's like, none of these personality tests will ever completely describe who you are, but they're
Of
very
course.
helpful guideposts.
And some of the things are broad in a way where if you do get that one, you could attribute it to yourself, kind of
I
like
feel like a little,
horoscopes.
yeah, I was about to say a little like astronomy sometimes, but it's based on the 7 deadly sins. It's a very old idea. It is true.
So you're a 3?
3.
Yeah.
With a what wing? Which way?
4, which is introspection, like always thinking about how and why people do things.
Yeah, so you get the result and like a wing, which shows like you're this, but you lean towards more on this side versus the other side.
It's very your 7, 8,
I don't know what 8 is. What's 8?
the challenger.
What do they do?
Oh, like a Dodge Challenger? Well,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Kind of like, well, why does it have to be this way? Who makes the rules?
I will say that when I was a child, I was very preoccupied with justice and fairness.
As all children are.
No, I think
Let's play cops and robbers. I'm the cop every time.
I'm the judge above the cop.
no, but just like I
I'm
feel
the judge's dad.
I am the law.
I'll be the district attorney. Let's go.
I am the law. And I feel like just as a kid, like I'm just like, that's not fair. Like wanting fairness and like justice.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids, right?
I think that, but is that a lot of kids?
I think so.
Well, I'm not
But-
fair. Like learning that life is not like fairness and equalness are different things is like, I think it's a road we all go along as a
I think
child.
a lot of kids
Like,
are competitive, maybe, and so like when someone's not playing with the rules and all this stuff and cheats, you get very upset.
we all have
think
to learn
that's
that life isn't fair.
Yeah.
But going back to the question,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. We'll definitely revisit the Enneagram test because I think that would be very interesting. But no, I don't think I'm high maintenance. I think I'm at times high preparation. If that, like, not like, it'll take me a while to feel comfortable to be able to do something, but it's only for certain things and certain circumstances. On a day-to-day basis, I feel like most things don't get to me. And like once I get something out of my head, I'm fine. But in terms of like emotional or even like physical maintenance, I think I'm just too lazy, honestly. I think that's the problem. I'm just lazy.
Well, I'm just a big old emotional sports car. I'm baby.
I wouldn't say. I definitely wouldn't ever think of you as you being a lazy person. I would just think that you have a really good way of prioritizing what's actually important.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Laziness is like putting it in a bad box, and rather than like I am happy to let go of things that don't actually matter.
Trevor has talked to me about this before where I say the same thing as you where I have terrible memory. And he was just like, you actually don't. Like, you have a great memory for the important things. Like,
Yeah.
remembering certain things that were said in a conversation or, like, what date this is on or the name of that person. Like, that's all whatever. But, like, the important things, he's like, you always remember that. And you always say you have a bad memory, which is very negative.
Of
And
my
I was like, don't be nice to me.
of my friend group, like everybody at Rooster Teeth, I think you were the easiest one to fall into a friendship with because it was just kind of effortless. And I think that that's the sign of
Wow.
someone just being like.
Share an office, Blaine, but
It was.
We're stopping the show and talking about this right now.
It was just a sign of like, oh, that's a friend that I can just kind of like chill with, and it's not a big
man.
deal, and there's not a lot of pressure and stuff like that. So, I think you are low maintenance.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I don't think
You guys are
been
nice, my friend Bob.
as well.
nice.
Is it that thing that Blaine does? Like, hey, can you do me a favor? Have a great day.
I love it.
Chicks do that.
And then I don't.
Oh.
And it's your fault.
And I blame you, totally.
All the time.
High maintenance.
So-
My emotions.
Put that on your pillow tonight. Try to sleep.
Yeah, I would be very curious as anyone watching the show if you think you're high maintenance. Leave a comment in the YouTube or Rooster Teeth website.
But don't do like
wherever
this
you're
because we
watching.
can't understand it. So
Yeah.
just type it.
Actual typing.
Ba, 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 ba.
Use marionette puppets to reenact the scenario
Oh
that
my
you find
God.
yourself as high maintenance in.
If someone does that.
That'd be amazing. All right, we're gonna finish up with a box of issues question. This is a new box that we got.
Very nice.
This one is from Michael M. Thank you, Michael M, for the box. He also wrote a question that we'll answer on a future show. Very nice.
Ooh, look at the box.
Painting every. Ooh, I didn't even see that.
Hey.
All right, let's read this question. All right, this is anonymous. A few months ago, some of my girlfriend's friends, not mutual, held a party for her, but did not invite me or make me aware of it. My girlfriend told me about the party and wanted me to come along. Since I wasn't invited, and I don't think her friends like me, I told her I didn't want to go. I tried to explain to her that I didn't feel welcome, but she said I was her +1 and that it was assumed I would attend. I ended up not going and she got really mad at me for it. I told her for a whole week why I didn't want to go, but did I do wrong in not going? Anonymous.
Trixie.
Yeah, probably.
A Trixie business.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
You should
In
have
the,
gone.
in the immortal words of the poet laureates of our time, the Spice Girls, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
It's
And
true.
I think that is just, I think that is sage advice that just rings across time
Because-
and space, really.
And the reason is because friendship doesn't end.
That's right.
It never ends.
Make it last forever.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you,
I totally understand that, like, you feel like you've made it clear that you're not going to go and you don't want to go, but sometimes you gotta go do these things.
Yep.
And even if you don't want to, you have to go to the event, you have to go to the party, you have to go to the dinner, and you might not want to go, and it might suck the entire time that you're there.
Also, maybe
Sacrifice, man.
they
Yeah, it's
maybe they didn't not invite you maliciously.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't remember to invite you, or
if
it was
wasn't
assumed
it.
that you were the +1.
If it was assumed, then
Yeah.
and it's not a surprise, right? So
No.
she
knew about
told him about the party. Why would they go out of their way to try and make contact when they're like, oh, you can just tell him. I feel like
Because-
if I was to throw a party, it would be assumed that like Miles was involved. But if you guys were throwing a party and you're like, well, yeah, Miles can come, I would then tell him that he was going to come.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Right. Or like if I was having a thing, I would only necessarily like text one of you.
Right.
Like, hey, we're doing this thing, assuming that you would then tell Miles.
Right.
Like, hey, Barbara's doing this thing.
Right.
I assume we're invited.
Yeah.
Together.
I've been in a relationship where I was called out for making things about me, and that was something that really bothered me, and I took that hard and really thought on it and tried to take steps to improve that. And this is a situation where I think you might be low-key making it about yourself a little bit, because this is her day, and it shouldn't matter. I know it's like they've been saying, it's a shitty situation socially for you, and you feel like you might not fit in with these guys, but you're taking a molehill and turning it into more of a mountain now.
Yeah.
And you're upsetting a lot of people by this. So it's just one of those things where, I mean, sorry. Thanks for watching our show, but yeah.
and having like compromise and like understanding and knowing kind of which battles to like which hills to die on.
Yeah.
Like there are some things in a relationship that are going to be compromised and uncomfortable, like Ellie said, but also, you know, what a more perfect opportunity for you to get in the same space with these friends that you're not mutual with and get to know and perhaps become friends with, because I would argue that you don't have to be friends with your partner's friends, but really helps if you're friendly.
Simpatico.
Like, just at the very least, like, oh yeah, you know, I love so and so.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's great.
Oh, we can
she's
hang out.
great. Oh, we
Right.
can hang out.
same
We're not in the same
place.
place. Like, are we gonna hang out one-on-one or like go do this thing?
Have a
or like,
sleepover?
Yeah,
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. But, you know, getting that FaceTime and just, you know, establishing some kind of rapport, some kind of bond, even as small as it is, that's a good opportunity to do that, so that in future invites and stuff like that, it's not an issue.
There's also a big difference here where if this was a party for another friend that your girlfriend was going to and she wanted you to come with and you didn't want to go, that might be a different situation.
Sure.
This was a party for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was for her that they threw. The fact that you weren't there and you're her boyfriend and she wanted you to come, you
That
should have been
absence
there. You
is
should have been
very
there.
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That almost is
It's not about the friends, but
more
like
awkward that
you
you're
or
not there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's chilling. That is yeah, that's the word. Yeah, sorry.
Chilling.
It's
Yeah, I mean, forget the friends. You should have gone to support her, and like, if she was the important one on that day, yeah, you probably should have gone.
You should have gone. Yeah. I that's what I think all of us would recommend.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe have a conversation where you
I just have this picture that they're like
Understand that.
watching together, and the person who wrote this is like, fuck.
yeah.
Sorry.
People write into the show. Sometimes we got to tell you you're wrong. You know, it
true.
happens. And like obviously we want the best for you and your girlfriend, and we want you to be happy. And people make mistakes, and people are wrong sometimes, and that's okay.
There is coming back from this.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's
Absolutely.
there's definitely coming back from that.
Feel free to follow up with us too if you'd like. Send an email to alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. Or if you're watching and have a question for us, you could do that as well, even if this isn't your question and you want to follow up. But yeah, any other thoughts?
No.
Godspeed. Best of luck.
Say sorry.
Say sorry. Go to the parties dedicated to your partner.
And also maybe make an effort to get to know her friends.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah.
I mean, I think like I've had, you know, we all have friends, especially when you're like work colleagues and friends. You have situations where some people's like plus ones or people's significant others like come to those and like don't feel a part of the group. Like I know for sure, especially when you slip into work chat, especially.
Yeah.
And there's always this moment of like, oh, I'm so sorry because you don't work here and you don't know anything that's going on, and like I feel like we've alienated you or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we've definitely all been in those situations where like
Worlds collide.
worlds collide, and maybe this is a message to your partner's friends that like it is really important at those events to include these people that like aren't a part of that group, aren't a natural part of that group, and to make sure that you're not alienating them from conversation, and that it isn't just about the things that like you guys have in common as a tight-knit group. Like I know for like you know, when I hang out with you guys here, and then there's people that don't work here, you do have to make an intentional effort to be like, okay, yeah, you're not,
And to be
you don't
aware,
spend every
yeah.
day with us, you don't spend 5 days a week in our company. Let's not make this all about the connection that we have. And so I think that's always a difficult ground to navigate. And it's not just on you to try and be like, hi, I'm new and different in this group. It's
on both,
It's on everyone in that
Yeah.
group to always try and include people. And
to look at this in kind of like a gross, cold, more strategic light. If you and your significant other ever get into a fight, she's gonna go to those friends and be like, I'm having this problem with Anonymous. And then they're gonna be like, we don't know that guy, fuck that guy. So it's
Yeah.
like it behooves you to get to know your friends.
great use of behoofs.
I think.
I don't think there's any place to go but up. Just kidding. Just down. That's why we should end the show. Great advice. Good luck, Anonymous. Let us know how it goes. And guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Always Open.
What a pleasure.
Cheers. And we'll see you all on the post show. Sign up for first membership so you can watch it. Cheers.
Worse.
Did you enjoy that episode of Always Open? I'm sure you did. Give it a thumbs up. Also, click that bell so you get alerted of other videos that come out on the Rooster channel. We would really appreciate it. And don't forget, watch these other videos for more lovely entertainment. We'll see you next week.